intake, she joined Eurobank Ergasias SA as communications manager at first, promoted to assistant general manager and deputy general manager later on. She is currently an advisor to the group management in Eurobank. This is our opportunity to learn from her experience and her knowledge. Let us give a warm welcome to a very interesting lady, Modiano-Leon.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Allow me to thank, first of all, the International Business and European Affairs Society for inviting me to this Business Week Forum. From what I understand, this one-week event brings together the younger generation of Deree students with the relatively older, I would say, industry professionals and academics. And it gives them the chance to exchange ideas about the challenges of the ever-changing business landscape and the future of Greek business. I'm very glad to be given the opportunity to contribute to this vibrant dialogue and share my views and experiences with all of you. My topic today is going to be on youth entrepreneurship, a topic I would think is relevant to most of you, and its impact on Greek business. In particular, on the extrovert side of Greek business. So, I will probably follow the conventional academic approach, which starts with the theory, then the analysis, and last, the example. So I will first talk about the problems of the Greek economy, then present some interesting figures with regards to youth entrepreneurship, and finally demonstrate the achievements of the EGG program as an example of success story in the field of youth entrepreneurship. The argument I will try to support in the next 20 minutes is that the younger generation of Greek entrepreneurs can make the difference and bring growth back on the table for our country. In the last 5 to 6 years, we have all been witnesses, if not victims, of Greece's unsustainable growth model. With a huge and persistent debt, I remind you that our debt to GDP ratio is over 176%, and an unemployment rate of 58% among young people under 25, it is evident that something went wrong with the Greek growth recipe. In the 2000-2008 period, we were champions of growth among our peers. But this growth was predominantly the result of government and consumer spending. No exports, no investment. This explains how everything quickly evaporated after 2008 when the crisis began. According to McKinsey's report, which was conducted in June 2008 on behalf of the Greek Confederation of Enterprises, said, I don't know if you have seen this report. It's called Greece 10 Years Ahead. The Greek growth model became unsustainable for a number of reasons. Our economy's over-reliance on domestic consumption, under-investment, over-regulation, and the expensive and ineffective public administration. The McKinsey report did not simply diagnose the problems, however. It also suggested ideas and made specific proposals for the desired growth model in the country for the next decade. For example, it suggested that our economy needs to be more outward and extrovert, more efficient and productive. It needs to become attractive and business-friendly to investors, have a stable regulatory environment that can be trusted. It needs to change culture and provide employment opportunities to the younger generation. It needs to expand its activities in new and promising economic sectors so as to stand up and be competitive at a global level. We have all heard these recommendations before. The real question is, can we do them? Can we implement these recommendations? Well, I do not know if the public administration or the government or even the mainstream Greek businesses can do it. I can tell you, however, that a number of newcomers in the Greek business, a number of Greek young entrepreneurs, and a number of Greek startups already practice these recommendations. How many of you recognize these logos? They are logos of fairly new Greek companies. These companies were created only a few years ago as startups by a new breed of Greek entrepreneurs. People who are young and passionate about their business, creative and innovative minds, people who pursue their dream no matter the obstacles. I don't know if some of you were here this morning where George Saliaris Pasea spoke. I think he's a good example of this breed. I believe that this new generation of Greek entrepreneurs can make the difference. It can create growth, it can create jobs, it can bring pleasant surprises and change our economy. And allow me to show some trends and figures that support this argument. Less than a month ago, IOVE, the Foundation of Economic and Industrial Research, published its 2012-2013 report on entrepreneurship. This is an annual research conducted in the context of the International Global Entrepreneurship Monitoring Program, the so-called GEM report. GEM runs since 2003 and compares data of entrepreneurship among 69 countries around the world. The first interesting remark about the Greek entrepreneurship, according to the report, is the impressive increase of young entrepreneurs at the 25-34 age bracket that decide to start a business. Over 160,000 young people have become entrepreneurs in Greece in 2012, a figure which is 9% higher than the year before. In fact, this figure is the second highest among all countries measured, the highest being in Italy. A second remark is that Greek startup entrepreneurs are more export-oriented or want to become more export-oriented. 1 out of 5 entrepreneurs who entered the market in 2012 say that over 25% of their clientele is going to be outside Greece. Again, this is an improved figure compared to last year, which was 16, I think. And if we add the ones that have up to 25% foreign clients, then we have almost 1 out of 2 start-uppers focusing on exports. Even more interesting is the fact that Greek startups are at par with most EU peers when it comes to innovation and competitiveness. Despite the economic crisis, 1 out of 4 new enterprises in Greece are innovative and competitive by global standards. And last but not least, according to GEM report, in 2012 there was a year-on-year increase of over 11% of startups using new technologies and procedures in their business. This is the highest figure among all countries measured in the report. What do all these figures show? I think they reflect the fact that economic and social shifts have provided added momentum for startups in Greece. Like in many other countries, conditions changed in the entrepreneurial environment, and Greek startups quickly add their share in today's global entrepreneurial boom, introducing new trends, new practices, and a new culture in Greek business. Let me try to describe this reshaping of the environment by mentioning how the Greek startup buzz has brought changes in 4 major areas. First, there is a fast build-up of a new entrepreneurial ecosystem in our country. Only in 2013, over 10 co-working spaces, accelerator schools, startup incubators were introduced in the Greek market. We also saw over 50 award competitions and reward schemes for innovative startups taking place in Athens and in other cities. And we had important international institutions like the Kaufman Foundation or Endeavor or the Hellenic Initiative, which add their support to local startups. Second, there is an increasing investment interest on startups in our country. In 2013, more than $50 million were invested in Greek startups by venture capitals or foreign companies. Significant funding also came from Jeremy funds, the EIB funding, and we had the first two successful exit stories with Bagsense and Imaga, both Greek startups specializing in the IT sector. A third observation is in relation to the sectors that the startups are developing in. And these are more extrovert sectors, such as digital and mobile applications, ICT, entertainment and content sectors. And these fresh and new sectors are challenging the conventional industries that exist in our country. And fourth, we gradually see new institutional players being involved with the startup ecosystem. You've got the regional authorities, municipalities and districts, you've got universities through their research centers, and the EU through specialized and focused funds that are trying to support and embrace the most innovative and agile startups. All of the above developments are a proof of the shifting mentality about entrepreneurship in our country, especially among the younger generation. And this is very hopeful. Why? Because young entrepreneurs could create opportunities for the development of entrepreneurial innovation-based economy using different practices, new operational models, and more relevant principles and values. I should note that the digital frenzy and technologies are accountable for most part of this shifting culture. For example, the lean startup methodology, initially designed to create fast-growing tech ventures, is a new approach introduced by the latest generation of startups. The founders of lean startups do not begin with a business plan. They begin with the search of a business model which is identified through quick rounds of experimentation and feedback from customers. According to Steve Black, a Stanford University professor, lean startup techniques reduce risk and failure levels of startups and have proven to be more efficient than traditional operational models. The so-called business model canvas, describing the 9 hypotheses suggested by lean startup methodology, can be downloaded in only 2 minutes from the internet. It's accessible to everyone. Black claims that lean startup practices are being already implemented by large companies such as General Electric or Intuit, and can be implemented by many SMEs that actually consist the bulk of the economy worldwide. But young entrepreneurs in Greece and abroad do not only use new operational models in the reshaping of the economy. They also carry new principles and values. The startup colonies developed around the world are closely interconnected. Young entrepreneurs grow and develop their ideas in co-working spaces, accelerator schools, incubation centers. They are constantly sharing their experiences, interacting, collaborating with each other. Collaboration is a fundamental concept in the startup culture, and this is what makes the difference. Also, young entrepreneurs do not consider failure as a failure. It was mentioned previously by the previous speaker and in the morning as well. failure is simply a learning process for them, which helps them take the next, probably improved step in their goals, in their targets. Most importantly, however, startuppers are passionate about their ideas. They want to see them turned into success, not only for money, because they want to contribute to society. This is also another very important catalyst to change in our current entrepreneurial culture. Well, having said all this, I would not like to sound like an enthusiast. There are challenges to the future of startups and question marks about their impact to the Greek economy. If we consider that 75% of startups all over the world fail, to what extent can recent Greek startup buzz have a significant impact to growth? How many Greek companies will experience successful exits? Can the startup market become sizable enough to have a positive effect, improve economic numbers? Another concern that comes to mind is whether the global startup buzz end up like the dot-com bubble in the 90s. Is it based on more solid foundations this time? I cannot give reassuring answers to any of these questions, but I want to express my conviction that this new breed of entrepreneurs has already achieved a shake-up to the traditional entrepreneurial models, and startups have been handling the mounting complexities of our times with success already. And this conviction is not based on emotions. It is based on the evidence I've shown previously, but mostly it is based on my experience with the EGG program. EGG program will be developed at Eurobank for youth entrepreneurship. I don't know how many of you have heard of this program. Who is aware of EGG in the room? It's quite a good number. So the EGG program is a Eurobank corporate social responsibility initiative designed and implemented with Coralia, our strategic partner, and its aim is to boost young innovative entrepreneurship and improve employment opportunities for young people in Greece. It addresses the interests of people from the age of 18 to 40. It has an annual cycle, and actually the second cycle is on now, submissions are on now. In the first cycle, which ends in May 2014, we hosted 21 teams, which have been selected out of a total of 191 submissions, following a thorough evaluation process which lasted 2 months. At the moment, we're in the middle of the submission period for the second cycle. The applications are already 330 up to now, and we still have 2 weeks to go. This slide gives you an overview of what the program is. I'm going to go through the benefits of the program very quickly. It's actually 4 pillars. We offer an infrastructure, we offer mentoring, one-stop shop services, and business training. I'm going to elaborate on all of this. Why infrastructure? Our building is a Eurobank building situated at Singru Avenue, 190. It's a 3-floor building, which includes, apart from separate spaces for each startup, it has meeting room and recreation areas. It's a very pleasant, creative working environment. The mentors are distinguished businessmen with diverse backgrounds and expertise, and provide on a one-to-one basis mentoring to the teams. We also offer one-stop shop service to each team, that is a sort of help desk where the teams meet once a week with the representatives of companies that are sponsoring the program. And of course, all of these services are provided on a pro bono basis. We do not pay for all of this. And finally, we offer training, practical training, not academic training, through mainly a 3-month business bootcamp and ad hoc seminars and lectures that are given to our teams. So, allow me to share with you the results of this effort in the last 9 months and the achievements of the team so far. The first thing you can see here is the logos of the companies we host at ERG, the 21 logos. I should say that when the teams entered the program, they were distinguished by their submission code number. By now, they are all registered companies with logos and company names. As far as the progress of the program itself is concerned, we have, as I said, hosted 21 teams coming from 10 different economic sectors: mobile applications, entertainment and culture, tourism, agriculture, biotechnology, a big diversity of sectors. Our mentors have been communicating with their teams on an average twice per month. We've had more than 160 help desk meetings, and each team has been offered approximately 5 training programs per month. I have to say that we collect all this data with a very thorough process. We have weekly progress reports and other performance measurement tools. Let us see now the achievements of the startup team so far. And as I said, all of the teams are registered companies by now. 14 have completed a prototype. 13 have increased their team members either through hirings or through additions to with equity participation to the teams. 10 have already received funding. We've had VCs that have supported the teams. We had business angels that have supported the teams. We had some companies getting EU funds. And 10 teams have developed synergies among them, which is, again, very crucial for the whole co-working space environment. And 7 have invoiced clients already in 9 months, and 2 have registered a patent. And I have to say that most of these activities are addressing an international market. Frogs and Flies, for example, a company which has developed a mobile application to educate kids on dental health, has created the Greek version of this learning application, which is available and has already sold through the Apple Store in Greece and in Cyprus. Now that we are talking, they are already translating the version of Mr. Catwise, that's the protagonist, the leading figure in the application, Mr. Catwise, in English, in Spanish, in Russian, and this is going to expand and be uploaded to the Apple Store, the corresponding languages, very soon. Rubber Duck Software, who specializes in developing software for optimizing complex data applications in modern hardware platforms, has been working with a Scandinavian company to address the global market needs. Similarly, Truckbird, another company specializing in the optimization of the transport industry through the development of sophisticated electronic platforms, has from the very beginning addressed the European market. Blueberty, specializing in real estate auctions, has addressed foreign clients who are interested for Greek real estate. So in other words, the 21 teams that joined the program last May are by now 21 companies operating with a fresh and passionate spirit, addressing the various needs of their clientele in both Greek and international markets. Let me talk very briefly on how we organized, what's the organizational structure behind the ERG. We do have an advisory board with distinguished personalities offering their wisdom to the program. We have a steering committee with 3 people from Coralia and 3 people from Eurobank. We have 3 people as staff, the site manager and administrative support. We have our mentors and the teams and the broader community, which by now numbers more than 1,800 people. Finally, I need to make an appreciative note on our sponsors and supporters who offer on a pro bono basis most of the ex-services. If you're interested in this program, you should know that the second cycle is on, as I said, and the deadline for submission of your business proposal is the 4th of April at 4 o'clock. The evaluation process will take place in April, and the second cycle of the teams that will join the program is in May 2014. So, I think that, to me at least, the egg story is the best evidence of what I was trying to suggest from the very beginning in my presentation. That the Greek young entrepreneurs, the Greek startups, are putting a fresh mark on Greek business. They are a sign of hope for Greek economic growth. And I think that this picture, taken the first day the teams joined the program, testifies in the best possible way to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Modiano. Can we have any questions, please, from the audience? Please.
Hello, thank you. This is very exciting. At the same time, I would like to ask, each of these little companies, usually develop applications, things like that. How far can this kind of business development go in addressing the unemployment which is affecting? In other words, they're usually small companies that they stay small, they're highly skilled. They don't seem to be capable of putting a dent on the massive problem that we have now. You alluded to the fact that how important can this movement be in addressing our greater economic problem.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's one of the challenges and the big question marks of this market developing. On the other hand, I should say, and again I speak from seeing these companies developing, they may not have an impact in figures at the moment, but they do have an impact in changing the environment and the culture. And this can in itself bring a multiplier effect later on. It may not happen in 1 year, it may not happen in 2 years, but if we have a big range of young companies addressing business in a different manner, I believe things will change.
Any other questions? No? Okay, then thank you very much for your presence and your time. I would like to ask the next president of the Academic Society, who's going